as a
course.
story or as a force or as an archetype. You know what I mean?
Precisely. And I've sat with, that's one of the things that I have always enjoyed doing, is being in the company of and sitting and discussing intelligently, listening, because you'd be surprised what you can find out if you just listen.
That's right.
Too. And I've spoke to audiences, I've spoke to all kinds of audiences. I have sat and talked with Jewish audiences. I have sat and round tables with rabbis and Jesuit priests. I have talked to Catholic groups, Masonic groups, skinhead groups. I'm well liked in the black community around the world, and rapping groups and movie star groups and political groups and non-political groups and all kinds of people. And the reason why is because I have an affection for the human race. And I don't want to condemn anyone, because the Bible clearly says God is the judge of mankind. You are not supposed to judge your fellow man and bear false witness against your neighbor. You just take care of your own private life before your God, and don't worry about your fellow man and whatever he's doing that God doesn't like. That's between him and his Creator. That's none of your business. I don't care if someone's gay or if they're straight or if they're black or they're Chinese. I don't care. I care about the human race, and I care about wisdom and knowledge and understanding and intellectual pursuits. That's what I care about. And you're not going to be able to be fully effective in talking to people if they perceive you instantly to be some goofy, ill-informed, unread, bigoted moron. No, I am always impressed when I hear people like Gore Vidal was one of my most favorite people, because he was a man, a gentleman, who was always the gentleman, a kind and interesting but fascinating and brilliant intellectual who looks at everything, who is always, and I've watched him when he is on the stage with other speakers. He listens to exactly what they're saying. He may have a better viewpoint, he may have more knowledge on the subject, but people who are intellectually and spiritually legitimately inclined are always ready to listen with respect to other people's views, to analyze what they're saying, to listen and try and pick up on the spirit of the person, pick up on the spirit of the person that's talking. What is he trying to tell us, and what is he trying to say? What are his motives? And listen to what he's saying. Analyze his thinking. And you do that because now you're in a position when it comes time for you to speak that you can now sound intelligent in your answer to that person. But if you're just a bigoted religious moron, like we have in America, all over this place, are religious people who love the Lord and will kill you, and bear false witness. They will lie on you. One goofball will come up with a story in his mind, and he passes it around to somebody else, and then that person passes it, and before you know it, it's all over town. Now it's got to be true, so now it goes to other towns. And give it enough time with the internet, and today you are an Al-Qaeda agent, or you are a disinformation agent working for the government, or you're an NSA or CIA plant, or you are mentally disturbed and saw a flying saucer. I mean, you're all kinds of things. And so famous people and people who are in the public eye know that this is all part of living in a arrested development society where people do not care about what is true. They don't mind, especially Christians in America have no problem whatsoever in bearing false witness against their neighbor, about talking about their fellow man, ruining people's names in public, making false charges against people. I mean, America's rampant with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
this seems to Yeah, this seems to be a quality.
Let me say, if you wanted to contact Steven Spielberg, good luck. There's no possible way. If you want to call George Lucas and talk to him for an hour, don't even bother, because you're not even going to get near him. If you want to talk to anybody in Hollywood, big movie stars, you're not going to get near them. Myself, I make myself available to the whole world. I put my name, my address, my phone number, my blood type. I put it all on the website for anybody to call me at any time of the day or night to talk with me, because I'm always open to talk to anybody, because I'm interested in people and knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So I'm always open to talk to anyone. I want to talk to everyone, and I try and answer, all my emails and my phones all the time.
Mm.
How many people in the public eye do that? I put my name, my address, my phone number on the website, so that anybody wants to come to see me, knows where I live, they know what my address is. Steven Spielberg doesn't do that. George Lucas doesn't do that. Other people in the public eye don't do that, but I do. And because of that, I always try and be upfront with everybody, tell them the truth about what I feel about this or that, what my thoughts are about this. And if it happens that I'm talking to a Christian, immediately I must be a Satanist, a devil worshiper. Now it's out there on the web, he's a devil worshiper. I'm just totally disgusted with the human race, because I know we as a human creatures on the earth are doomed, because we can't find our way out of a paper bag. And anyone who's on the cutting edge, intellectually or spiritually, trying to do anything to save the human race is going to be run out of town.
Yes, and
they're going to be tarred and feathered and made to look like a freak. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what's happened to me.
That's a good point as well, because as eloquently described in the Matrix movies about these people are trying to rescue people out of the situation that they're in, the system of enslavement. They portray that also, that be careful in that sense, because these people are actually going to try to fight to protect the system that they're enslaved with.
That's
or
exactly
by.
Right.
And maybe, Jordan, as well, maybe we're not talking about humans anymore in that sense. Maybe this initial few steps that we talked about earlier about the dehumanization, the fact that humanity is being turned into something else. I think that I know that this is, in the works, this is being planned on the level of creating cyborgs, implanting humans with microchips, computer brain interface, things like that as well. But we might already look at a kind of a moral, perversion, if you will, that has taken place in that sense as well. So on the psychological level, we might not even be talking about human beings and the human family anymore either, if you know what I mean.
Well, of course, I totally agree with that. I've questioned that for a long time. I'm a big believer in the very, very real possibility that there are people here who are in fact not human. They merely look like humans. And if you think that's pretty off the wall, you better go back and read the book of Genesis in the Bible, when it talks about the sons of God. And there's been a whole work done by Lana Cantrell. In her book many years ago, Lana Cantrell came out with a book called The Greatest Story Never Told. Lana Cantrell. Mm. And her book was, a thick 800, 600, 700-page book, upon which much of that story that she was telling in her book many, many years ago was also being brought out to in the modern day by Zecharia Sitchin. Lana Cantrell talked about the Anunnaki who came here, how they designed the human beings and how we were designed by them, and who these gods were that the Sumerians talked about. Lana Cantrell talked about that a long time ago.
Interesting.
And of course, I was in business. I was a business partner with Zecharia Sitchin. I was in business with him. I helped send him to 7 different countries. I helped get some of his books published, not all of them, but at one time he and I were business partners. So I had an opportunity to actually sit with Zecharia behind the scenes that nobody knew anything about, and I could sit and talk with him. I got him speaking engagements from Portland and New York and Los Angeles. I actually financed a science conference in which he spoke there. And so I was in business with Zecharia Sitchin. I have been behind the scenes. I've been the supporter of many different people from various backgrounds. And David Icke is one too, and
Sure.
all kinds of people that I have tried to help and promote when I believe that they're decent and intelligent people who have something of value and interesting. Doesn't mean I was married to Zecharia Sitchin.
That's right.
Doesn't mean I was married to David Icke. It means I just appreciated their intelligence and their work. I thought it had value, and I wanted to do something to help promote them and their work. And I've got long lists of people. I can give you many names of people that I have worked with, promoted them, helped them to get on radio and television behind the scenes, and was in business with people, astronauts, all kinds of people behind the scenes, because I respected their person, I respect their work. I love wisdom, I love knowledge, I love understanding, and so I wanted to promote people who I believe, have something really important to say. And I think it's fascinating and interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily true in every single case.
Sure.
But I think it's intellectually stimulating, because it's not on toilet paper. These are very bright people writing with some brilliant research, and so I just want to help to promote that kind of intellectual achievement.
That's right. Yeah. Well,
and
it's a good suggestion in that way, because I mean, this is about opening up these fields as well, and I mean, obviously, all as the case with all work, it should be reexamined, it should be looked upon again, it should be criticized. That's on an academic level, and that's okay, you know.
Well, of course.
But then at the same time, it doesn't mean that one has to agree with everything on it. I mean, I've said that about Sitchin's work,
not.
you know, that this is so important because it opens up an area of thought for people, and they can re-examine and question it over again. Wait a minute, can he actually be onto something here? And then I also, on top of that, respect people like Michael Heiser, who has looked twice at Sitchin's work, and he come to another conclusion, and that's fine. That's academic, you know what I mean?
That's my feeling, is that I'm always interested in the academic, intellectual approach to everything. But I am a highly spiritual person. I have no religion, but I'm highly spiritual in that I appreciate and believe beyond any question that there is a higher spiritual mind in the universe that men have called God. But I'm also well aware that you should define your terms. Just because someone said they believe in God, well, first of all, God is dog spelled backwards. So what are you talking about when you say God? I'll tell you what I believe when I'm using the word God. I believe that there is a profoundly deep and powerful mind in the universe that watches all things, and there's no injustice anywhere. There is no injustice in the universe. It is what it is. It is a very powerful presence, a spiritual, intellectual presence in the universe, and there's a reason for all things. Everything has a reason for being. And there seems to be some kind of a rhyme and a reason of synchronicity of why people meet certain people at a particular point, why certain things happen to individuals, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. There's always a reason for everything. And I believe that there is a highly intelligent, spiritually powerful, intellectual power in the universe